This is the Midwestern Whisper. This is Whisper 81, and this is the baby whisper that I personally have been waiting to make for a long time. My daughter was born on September 5th at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was rather surprised that how relatively quickly my wife's labor went. We were scheduled to come in for an induction at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they got to it within an hour. So she was induced a little before 8 o'clock. And if nothing happened, then they were going to do another one 4 hours later. But when they checked her, she was dilated further at about 5, and they decided to try and break her water instead of another induction and see what that did. And our doctor is saying, well, if she doesn't have this baby within 18 hours after breaking the water, we'll have to take an emergency C-section or risk infection. She leaves, and we're like, what, 18 hours? The nurse shook her head and said, no, I give it maybe until 4 o'clock. And this was at noon, so we're thinking, 4 hours, okay. Not too bad. They came back and checked her like an hour later, and she was at 8 centimeters dilated. And baby's born at 10, so. And they suggested that she walked, so she tried to walk up and down the corridors, and was stopping about every 10 or 15 feet. And we made a couple circuits around the hospital and came back. And we asked for, not the epidural, but the thing like it, where you get a shot in the spine. Well, they called the doctor in, and she was going to give her pain medicine and then get the anesthesiologist up there. But that was going to take a half an hour or so. But they checked her again. She was already, I want to say crowning, but I'm not sure if that's when the baby's actually coming out. Crowning might mean coming through the cervix, but either way, the baby was ready to be born. She got no pain medicine, and most definitely no shot in the spine. And I felt bad for her, so she had to feel every bit of it, and she was so red-faced when she pushed. I'd never seen that color in anybody's face before. It looked unnatural. It looked like somebody painted her face with something. And when she had my son, almost 6 years ago now, she had a pretty bad nosebleed from pushing. But that didn't happen this time. And she probably only pushed, they wanted her to do 3 sessions of pushing, but she generally could only do 2. I think she only pushed about 15 times. And the baby was out. It went, from the time they said that she was ready to start pushing, it was maybe half an hour. I mean, it did not take that long. And was a little worried there at first because, first of all, they always take out the mucus and whatnot out of their nose and throat, but her oxygen levels were too low and she was too raspy in her breathing. They stuck a tube down her throat twice. inside, and that she'd actually got that waste down her throat. Yuck. But not like any part of having a baby is pretty. When they broke her water, she dropped a gallon of fluid, which they said weighed 2 pounds by itself. And those mats, the pads they put under there, which look a lot like a puppy pad when you're trying to housebreak a dog, she saturated 3 of them. And anyway, if you've ever been in the room when a baby's born, it's pretty gross. But anyway, I was a little concerned for my daughter, which her name is Evelyn, if you don't know. Because they seemed like they were giving her a lot of attention. She didn't cry that much, so they were, tapping her nose and moving her about a lot, trying to get her to cry more. Which actually, in the long run, when they got her to cry pretty good, that actually cleared it up better than sticking the hose down her throat twice. So, in the long run, she was alright. They did put her up to a machine for a while. Wouldn't let my family hold her for a little longer than I'd like, but they were looking out for the baby's well-being, so couldn't really complain about that too much. The other concern that I had was that after the placenta and all the yucky gunk came out and the doctor pushes on my wife's belly to get the rest out, she passed 4 large blood clots, and they were large. They were probably about the size of $50. And then later on, when she got up to go to the bathroom, she passed 3 more. And I was worried that she was bleeding to death for a while there. And the nurse didn't alleviate my feelings on this too much, because I was down the hall a little bit with my son, and I could hear her talking in the room, and she was saying that she was concerned about this, and that if it continued for more than half an hour, that she was bringing in the doctor, and it just worried me. But she relieved my fears a little bit by saying that her blood pressure hadn't dropped, and they were watching everything pretty closely. But within 3 hours, my wife actually looked pretty good. I mean, I got pictures of when she had my son, and she looked like she'd been through the ringer. But by the next morning, you couldn't even tell that she'd had a baby. I mean, she bounced back that quick. I think that she's one of the fortunate ones that has a somewhat minor delivery, labor. Not to say that it was easy for her, because she went through some pain, but these poor women that I hear about that can go 2 days, unbelievable. You women are tough. For that I cannot deny. And it was funny, right after the fact, my wife says to me, she goes, "Nothing's going in there again." Oh, and I did feel a little guilty. This is my 3rd child. And each and every time, I can clearly remember thinking, I am so sorry that I did this to you. But the miracle childbirth, it is quite amazing. My daughter is 21 inches long, or was. She was born 2 days ago now. Is 7 pounds and 6 ounces at birth, which is more than a pound heavier than my son was, and considerably longer. I think part of it had to do with it. She had gestational diabetes, which could make the baby bigger. The baby was also I said, almost 2 weeks late, so my son was born on his due date, so there's your difference probably. I would say she's not even average in weight. I think the babies are now topping out at 8 plus. Well, my daughter was 9.5, my first daughter. And I put up some of these pictures. I think that all but one are pictures that the hospital took, which we bought. And I think the ones where she's sucking her fingers, I think I took that on my digital camera. I have some videos that I might put up at some point. There's a lot of private information set on there, so I was thinking about taking off the sound. I thought about putting that on this, but it's a lot of work and it's getting late, so I don't think I'm gonna... Well, obviously I'm not doing it on a Whisper this time. I may or may not do it on my next Whisper, or maybe I'll just do it as a video, period. And, I don't know, maybe put a lullaby on there or something. But like I said, yeah, there's names used and stuff like that, so I'd rather not put up a video that has private information. But I would like you to see her in a nice quality video. She has darker hair than my son did. My son's hair was dirty blonde when he was born. And most of the times he was a baby, he was a blonde baby. I have dark hair. Dark brown. My wife's is sort of a sandy brown. And we both have a real light red. You can't see it in my hair unless I'm in the sun, but and even then it's still real light. That comes from my mother's side of the family. But you know, it's hard to tell what a newborn's going to look like when she or he gets older, but I can see that she has long eyelashes like my son and I do. You know, but you know, I think all newborns are born with blue eyes. Yeah, I mean, hers are real dark blue. I mean, they're almost black, but and that'll change at some point to whatever color it's going to be. My wife has blue eyes, and I have hazel, so. And the hospital stay itself was incredibly short. I know they don't keep you very long anymore, but especially if there's no complications, but wow, 2 days and we're out. That's some fast work. Okay, my wife just brought the baby to me, so I'm gonna see if I can get her to make any noise. You say anything? She's looking right at it, but I'm gonna go. Dada. Dada. Oh, isn't that just the way? She was just cooing just before I started this. I had paused it when my wife came in, and now she's just not doing it. Looking right at me, but not doing it. Can you say something? You're not gonna say anything, are you, Evelyn? And I got the microphone in my hand right now, so hopefully I'm not making it sound really bad. But, and hopefully you don't hear my son's taking a bath in the next room. But, oh, you got a dog. You got a dog. glad she's here. As you know, it's been a long time waiting. And I love her a lot. And I thank God that she came out so perfect, and that all my kids had relatively small things wrong with them, if anything. And as I used to say, you need to be grateful. Oh, I mean, it could always be worse. And you should be happy for what you have. I'm not saying you shouldn't strive to be better and to do better in your life. Make more money, whatever, whatever tripped your trigger, right? But you should never squander good fortune, and you should never not be appreciative. Because if you do that, you might learn how good you had it. And I really wish she would be a little louder, but well, I'm sure she'll get louder soon enough. But she's very alert for 2 days old. I mean, heck, when they were still cleaning her up on that little, whatever that is, a little machine that they clean babies up with and weigh them and whatnot, she was looking around then. So, very alert young lady. You gonna talk? You gonna talk? You gonna say hi to you too? Oh, don't touch. No, touchy. You are talking. Good job. You're so curious about this world already, aren't you? Okay, I suppose I should close this and try to get it together before she needs another bottle. So, more will be said about it, of course. And I'm a proud papa, that's for sure. So, take care. I'll talk to you real soon.